219 to 217 with 7 strikes. Now it's opponent Firestone and Open champion Del Ballard, also a Masters champion. Lots of experience, 5 titles, 9 years. Robert's been a member, PBA for 10, hasn't been out full time all that 10. So Rooney puts the pressure on Del Ballard immediately.
Yeah, he's really loosened up, Chris. He looks really, really good. And Ballard only averaged 188 for his 3 games this week on the championship pair as opposed to 242 against Lawrence. So big advantage for Lawrence in this match.
Del got it. Wanting it to hook, and it did. He won the Firestone in 1989, and last year he was 3rd.
A style very similar to Marshall Holman. Very low profile, not much head movement, medium-high swing, cupped wrist, a long slide, and a good high follow-through. Del Ballard, when he's on his game, is as tough as anybody we have on tour. And he likes the big ones.
Had one of 4 300s here this week.
Gotta have a hook.
Then hit 210.
Well, we've seen that shot 3 times already, and we saw Lawrence make it. So all he has to do is get over here, follow the example of Lawrence, get over here in the 2-pin zone, drive that 2-pin either against the wall or directly into the 10 to convert the split. About a 3-to-1 shot for the pros.
So it's an open frame for Del Ballard of Richardson, Texas, going against another Lone Star State professional, Robert Lawrence. Strike up, 2nd frame. Rude. Robert Lawrence in the pocket. Next week, honoring former president of the PBA, Johnny Petraglia, who's still out on tour, we go to the state of New Jersey, to North Brunswick. Our first visit there, and we look forward to it. 3 Eastern Pacific, 2 Central.
Lawrence, the full grip, using finger grippers, has a thumb hole with reverse pitch to get out of it very quickly. That's pitch away from the center. Uses tight thumb hole, the big hook.
3 in a row.
Watch the action of 3rd pin on the left-hand part of your screen. We don't see this very often with the big hook ball players. The 2-pin into the sideboard. Love taps the 4 out. He's got Ballard, his roommate, on the ropes in the early going. 3rd frame.
Didn't get the 10-pin. Winner of this game, this is our 2nd in Maryland, will be Norman Duke, and then, of course, Pete Weber. 5 perfect 300 games on our ABC telecasts over the 30 years. Del Ballard says this. Del Ballard of Richardson, Texas, a muscle car fan, as I am, and he also is a proud owner, though, of a Shelby Mustang GT500, a 67.
You can see where Ballard's playing in the lanes. He's going to slide in this area, start the ball over the 2nd arrow, playing the big hook.
Okay, got a break. The 2nd time today comes up with a 210. Robert was 4th at Woodlawn a year ago. Now Robert opened this 2nd game after his victory over Walter Ray Williams Jr. with 3 in a row. He had this before, and he made it a lesson for all of us how to convert. Well, to show you that he could do it again, Bo, perfection.
Thank you, Chris. A great shot there by Robert Lawrence. The 2nd time he's converted that in a championship round. And the man in the semifinal, Norm Duke, another Texan. We have 2 in the match right now. Who's the toughest of the 3 Texans out there, pal?
They're awful tough. Both of them are good, but I taught them both how to bowl.
Okay, the teacher's going to come in and give them another lesson in the semifinal, Chris. We'll see what happens. A good match going right now.
Just so happens Duke is the youngest of the three. Leaving a 4-8 is Robert Lawrence on the left lane. He won the first game, if you just joined us, over Walter Ray Williams Jr., 219 to 217. He averted a tie. He needed a double and 7 pins. But he got a double and 8. And he is now marking with a spare. Robert Lawrence. Okay, Del Ballard won 3 titles in 1989. First 2, as a matter of fact, were back-to-back.
Ballard with the full grip, the cupped wrist, and a real good snap on the ball. Here she comes.
Yes!
Okay, we asked Del what went through his mind during championship round competition.
When I get on the approach, I'm basically having a song go through my head. I like to listen to a lot of rock and roll music, and it goes through my head, and it keeps the outside distractions from bothering me so I can go up and make a good shot.
Chris, he says the Beatles are featured today, so he's playing a whole album if he gets through 3 games. Let's see what happens.
Come on. Yeah.
All right. There's a 3-bagger for Del Ballard. Started slow this year. Didn't come out for a while because of an injury. But last week he was 8th in Erie, best of the year.
The grip of Lawrence, very interesting. That thumb hole is pitched away from the center of the ball to allow him to get out of it very quickly. It's very tight, so he doesn't have to squeeze the ball. I think that's why he's so good in the pressure.
Leaving only a 6-pin.
Boy, he's gotten shaky here in the last 3 shots. After 3 really good shots to start the match, he had the 2-10 split, the 4-8 light, and he just breaks up the 4-6 split here. Very fortunate after 3 frames in a row in trouble.
Robert Lawrence, who 6 telecasts last year, first this year. Tomorrow, we're in the Baltimore aerial. Wide world next, and here you'll next see Robert Lawrence. Shooting here, we had to bowl while you were away because our time slot is 90 minutes and we're behind. Well, what happened, Del Ballard came up with a double, making it 5 in a row to have his lead, but then Robert Lawrence in the 8th with a double now, and the lead is down to 3. Lawrence trailing by 3, but can take the lead here in the 9th frame. These 2 roommates will have a lot to talk about tonight.
Well, Lawrence, he'll start practicing that 2-4-10 split. This is the 4th or 5th time he's had this combination. Now, this is the exact split on the same lane he opened the telecast. He got the ball in this 2-4 zone, drove that 2 against the sideboard, and took out the 10. He needs to do it now to keep the pressure on Del Ballard.
Del Ballard, the 27-year-old from Richardson, and 28-year-old Robert Lawrence.
how quickly the game can change. Ballard was trailing by 32 pins in the 4th frame. He's now up by 20, can make it 30. 62 pin difference in just 6 frames.
Yes!
6 in a row, Del Ballard.
Watch the long slide of Ballard. He's very smooth on these synthetic lanes, and very important to be smooth on the approaches of synthetics that often give players trouble. The power of Ballard as he just ignites all 10 pins, and he has put this match away. Just keep it in the building. He'll go against fellow Texan Norm Duke in the semifinal.
Yeah!
So that's 7 in a row for the guy with the Open, the Firestone, and the Masters, to his credit.
When they start throwing strikes on synthetic lane surfaces, Chris, because of the high surface friction in the back end, the smoothness of the lane, they throw some big games. Here we have Ballard with a potential 258.
That's fine.
He'll be in the 240s.
Del Ballard, fans are showing their appreciation.
Yeah, baby.
The opponent next up, now bowling out of Albuquerque, Norman Duke. So it's time for the tip of the week, and you'll see it as Bo takes a look at the anatomy of a bowling ball. Duke and Ballard next.